days away from Thanksgiving, many of you likely preparing to head out to Charlotte Douglas International Airport to travel to see loved ones. So that's why we have Jerome Woodard, the Chief Operating Officer for the airport, here to break down what you need to know before you go. It is about to be your Super Bowl, right?
That's right. It's absolutely the Super Bowl.
Okay, so the first thing that a lot of people talk about is the parking. So what is the best way to make sure you can secure a spot?
All right, so the airport has over 23,000 parking spaces, so there's really a lot of parking, but what's key is how you go about securing that parking. So what we have advised passengers to do is actually book your parking at the same time as you book your flight, and that way you're going to secure your spot as well as get access to the lowest parking rates.
And then you also have a royalty program, is that right?
We do. The airport royalty program will give passengers perks depending on how often you use the airport's parking products.
Okay, and so this is all about preparation. I know you guys advise people get there early. So how early should people get there?
So passengers should get to the terminal and be in the terminal at least 2 hours before your domestic flight and at least 3 hours before your international flight. And that's going to be very key to making sure that you have a low stress travel experience.
Okay, and then you need to obviously build in time for those TSA lines. So when it comes to that, what do you recommend?
So what I do recommend first, of course, is downloading the airport's mobile app and then checking those TSA wait times before you leave your home or hotel, and then checking them again when you get to the airport, because those times are dynamic. They change a bit throughout the day. So you have to make sure you check pretty often to make sure you have the most up-to-date information.
Okay, and so if you're getting dropped off, maybe from a loved one or an Uber or picking someone up, what can people expect from a traffic perspective?
Right, from a traffic perspective, we've really learned some things clearly from last Thanksgiving and learned some things this year, so we're deploying some strategies. So what folks can really expect to see is additional law enforcement and additional airport personnel that are really going to be focused on traffic control. Additionally, they can expect to see more traffic lanes and vehicle lanes on the departures level of the airport. That's something very new that we just opened on November 13th. So there's more opportunities to do curbside pickup and drop off.
And you were just saying if you're picking somebody up and the line for arrivals is long, it's actually okay to have them meet you at departures instead.
Absolutely, absolutely. As we talked, that's a little bit of a hack. You don't necessarily have to go to the arrivals level. You can go to the departures level and pick up your passengers.
Okay, I feel like that's something that people do, but they didn't know if that was approved. So we're hearing from you, you are allowed to do that. Okay. And then you can also download the airport app, which you just mentioned. What are some of the benefits of that?
Well, the app is super cool. You know, really lots of functionality, lots of information right at your fingertips. You can check on your flight status. You can book your parking, of course, ahead of time. You can check wait times for the shuttle bus operation as well as for TSA checkpoint. You can order food ahead of time. You can check on concessions. So there's a lot of functionality there, and it's all free, which is a pretty good deal if you think about it.
Wonderful. Okay, and so, you know, really, this is a busy time. Do you recommend people kind of obviously give themselves some time, but also pack their patience, as we always say?
Yeah, pack your patience and do your part. And by doing your part, I mean, be prepared for the process before you get to the process. A lot of times what we see is people go to the checkpoint and then they start to fumble for the back, you know, all their information and items. That's not the time to get prepared. The time to get prepared is ahead of time, so you're not holding up your fellow travelers or, you know, disrupting the operation of that checkpoint.
There's nothing worse than being behind that person who's pulling things out of the bag, putting things in the clear bag. So do it ahead of time. All right. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.